Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Matthew.
And this, of course, is Audio Judo, your podcast of music discovery. If you like Audio Judo, please continue to listen to us. We're proud members of the Pantheon
Despite
Podcast
what you may
Network.
or may not hear.
Despite what you may or may not hear. We are proud members of the Pantheon Podcast Network, along with our other podcasts, Throughline and Audio Judo Does Jazz. If you have a favorite band, era, or music genre, Pantheon has a podcast for you with over 120 podcasts on the network. Why not give another one a try when you get done with this Audio Judo episode? I cannot talk today.
Yeah, well,
This is gonna be great. This is good. I'm glad this is an audio medium that heavily relies on me talking for the next 90 minutes.
you only forgot the name of the lead singer of one of the most popular bands of all time.
David Lee Roth. And let's see. Can't remember the name of our podcast. Can't remember who our host is. Can't remember what album are we doing today? What's your name again?
Oh boy,
Where the hell am I?
it's going to be one of those, isn't it?
So Matthew.
Yes, Kyle.
This is probably a little bit of a curveball of an album for you, I would assume.
It is definitely a breaking ball. It's definitely a curveball.
So today we're talking about a band called the Pinkertones. And the album is called The Million Color Revolution.
You have a compact disc
I have
over there.
a compact disc of this album.
Does it have the disc in it?
It has the disc in it.
Well, how about that?
And we'll go over this when we go over the artwork and stuff, because it's actually a really cool album design, I think. But I actually had to. This was one of the very first things that I ever imported from another country online.
Oh, you bought the import?
Yes, because at the time you could not find it anywhere in the United States. They were released in the United States, but you could not find this anywhere. So this is actually imported from Canada.
All the way from Canada?
All the way from north of the border in Canada.
I don't even know if you could do that anymore.
Probably not.
You'd probably have to pay a
the
tariff
tariffs on
it,
this
yeah.
would be fucking ridiculous. As it stands, I think I paid $40 for this album.
Yeah,
in 2006.
Well, that's import
So,
prices back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Not cheap, but it was an album that I wanted for some reason at the time.
Do you remember the reason?
Not really.
So you just spent $40 blindly?
I mean, honestly, at the time, there are a couple of songs on here that I really liked. And there was at the time, 2006 is when this album came out.
Okay.
February 2006. You could download a lot of this stuff online, right? But we were kind of getting past that era of Napster was dead, LimeWire was kind of dying, iTunes and Spotify and all those things were not quite there yet.
Correct.
So this wasn't available on any of those services. So I couldn't get it legally. Illegally, I had a copy of this and it sucked. It was bad. It cut off all the tracks weird. It was just a really crappy illegal copy of this. And I was like, I looked all over the place to find a good online copy I could just download of this, and it just didn't exist.
Okay.
And so finally I got so frustrated, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy it. And at least this way, the band, I liked the Pinkertones. I'd only heard a couple of their songs before this album. I liked them enough that I was like, you know what, I'm going to support these two guys.
I get that, but that's a pretty serious commitment.
Yeah.
Based on I like a couple of songs. Like back in the day, I mean, we're talking mid-90s to mid-2000s when I was buying imports of compact discs and stuff like that. I was doing it because it was a band like Marillion, where you couldn't, like, I've been following them since '85. I know all their stuff, and there's all these releases that aren't being brought to the States. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to pay $55 for it. It's $60 in shipping.
It's the Japanese only import.
Exactly.
You know?
Because I loved that band. So that didn't seem like that much of a commitment. This seems like a fairly significant commitment based on limited amounts of information.
And honestly, I still to this day am not 100% sure why I pulled the trigger on it and got it that way.
Okay.
It's just
Impulse buy.
It's a good album. I like it. And it's if I'm really honest,
Impulse
I think
buy. Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah. Impulse buy is probably a large part of it. But I think also too the idea of just being able to be that kind of snooty asshole who was like,
oh, you have this and nobody else has it?
I imported this album from somewhere else and you can't get it here
I get that.
yet. So, yeah.
I get that. You do kind of want to lord it over people.
Exactly. It's fun.
Yes, it is. It's like I had Nirvana's Bleach before you even heard Nevermind. You suck.
especially because my friends all hated the music that I listened to.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fair.
And,
Friends are assholes, but yeah,
we had
it's
a
fine.
rule. We had a rule that if you were in somebody else's car, you listen to whatever they had on.
The driver.
The driver, whoever. So,
Well, yeah.
my car, we listen to what I want to listen to.
It's your rules.
Get in somebody else's car, we can listen to whatever the hell they want to listen to.
As long as it's not bad.
We did that. My little group of friends did that from the time I was one of the first to get a driver's license because I was the oldest. And I also had a car right when I got my driver's license.
Well, fancy you.
Yeah, well, at the time it was a 14-year-old car, so 12 years old. Still, I mean, hell, it was a car.
Four
and
wheels.
I put a CD player and a nice stereo in it.
Oh,
so it was,
look at that.
Yeah.
So it
a Ford,
was worth more than the car.
a silver Ford Taurus.
Ooh.
V6, baby.
Yeah. Did it have a bench seats?
No, the front were the
Bucket
seats. But I don't know. Actually, the front was a bench seat, but they were the split bench seats, so you could move them independently of one another.
Lovely.
And then the back was a bench seat, and there was a little hidden compartment in the back. Never used that for anything.
No? Like a weed or anything?
No, never.
Okay.
Never put anything in there. It was built into the car. It came with the car, right in the back.
It's for running drugs.
Yeah, clearly it was a car specifically for running drugs. Anyways, my friends would literally get in my car and whatever would be playing, and they were just like, "Fuck," because they just
Why do we
hated
have
it.
to listen to
They
this,
just hated
Kyle?
it. But that also being said, there were times where they would eventually convince me to be like, "Look, this band's called The Perfect Circle. We need to listen to this." And I'd be like, "Oh, whatever, put it in." And it's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Yeah.
Anyways, totally off track here. Pinkertones, Million Color Revolution.
But is it though?
Not really.
Because there's a reason behind it. Because I think I've heard the name Pinkertones maybe once in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know this record at all. So when you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," I'm like, "Oh, fuck." It's another Kyle pick.
You had that same reaction all of my friends had. Awesome.
I have another Kyle pick. I gotta choke down and figure out a way to not say mean things about it.
You should just say the mean shit
That's
about
what's
it, if
going to
I'm honest,
happen.
but
That's exactly what's going to happen. So I listened to it a number of weeks ago. And God damn, did I hate it. Okay, so I did not like it. Or so I thought.
I love it.
I did not
love
like
this.
it. Well, here's the problem. I didn't like it at all. And then I listened to it again yesterday, and I listened to it again today, and I think I was listening to either the wrong album or the right album at completely the wrong time.
Oh.
Because I do I actually think it's excellent.
Oh.
And that's really frustrating to me because either I'm losing my goddamn mind because I did not like it. I even told Heather, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't want to listen to it. It's another one of Kyle's stupid picks. It's like El Mariachi de Bronx. Fucking just pick this shit for me.
I love this.
And I got to sit around and listen to it. And then I have to write intelligent thoughts about it. Well, you don't have to write intelligent thoughts. Well, okay, yeah, that's probably true. But I was so upset. And then I listened to it yesterday and I'm like, oh, well, that's good. And then I listened to it today on my walk during my lunch hour, and I'm like, God damn it, it's really good. There's like 3 things I don't like about it, and that's irrelevant. I mean, there's three things I can find wrong on any record.
I'm also somebody who actually likes this album, and there's 5 or 6 things that I'm like, this is not so.
I must just. Well, I'm obviously getting old, but. Like, I can't remember.
You getting soft?
Why do I hate it?
You getting soft, Shapansky?
I probably listened to it after a shitty show.
Could be.
At work, so 11 o'clock. Probably had a crappy time getting out of the parking garage, so I was already ticked off, right? Something bad's going on with kids or something. I'm like, I'll put this in. This sucks. I hate this. Stupid Kyle. It's all Kyle's fault. And then I put it away. Whatever. Here we are.
Yeah.
This is it.
So let's talk a little bit about the Pinkertones.
All right.
So I'll be honest with you. I did not realize how hard it was going to be to dig up history about these guys.
Yeah, it's almost non-existent.
Yeah. So they do have a YouTube channel, which was super helpful because there are videos that they have linked on there to a bunch of interviews they've done, but they're all between like 2009 and 2016. So they're not talking about this album very much, other than like, oh, this was kind of their breakthrough, blah, 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 blah. But the Pinkertones are two guys. There's first guy is Salvador Salva Rey, and the other guy is Alex Lovett. Salvador was born in Barcelona, August 7th, 1975. He's part German.
That's Barcelona.
Barcelona. Excuse me. Pardonnez-moi. Barcelona. He's part German. Really couldn't find a whole lot about his childhood. I know he grew up in Barcelona, but that's about all I could tell you.
Yeah.
He did produce and write songs in the late 90s that appear on some Spanish language albums, mostly compilation albums. He's also an expert ukulele player.
Mm-hmm.
He's called that his greatest passion, and he's often called El Rey de Ukulele, or the King of Ukulele. He's written several books on how to play the ukulele. He has some fun videos online that will teach you how to play different songs.
And yet, this record is notably absent of barring one song.
One song,
right.
yeah. And I was kind of surprised by that. And I think a lot of that is some of their later works have it a little bit heavier. And I think at this point, he was very much actively avoiding it because he was like, that's not the sound that we're going for here.
Reticent.
Yeah. Most recently, I just found this the other day, actually. He's been touring the U.S. and Europe with Alex Borstein.
Oh, okay.
The comedian, actor, voice actress.
Yeah, yeah.
And playing music for her project that's called the Amster Gang, which is a combination of her singing and doing stand-up comedy, and it's done in pretty small, like, intimate venues. It seems really cool.
All right.
Alex Lovett was also born in Barcelona in 1974. Barcelona. I also couldn't find very much about his childhood. I do know he studied humanities at the Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona.
In Barcelona.
Cinema at the Escuela de Cinema Independente de Barcelona. And photography at the Institut de Estudios Fotográficos de Catalunya.
That was very good, actually.
Gracias. What's funny is I was told by somebody from Spain, I was joking with them. This was many years ago now. I was joking with somebody from Spain, and I was speaking like that, and he's like, "You actually speak very good Spanish." And I was like, "Gracias."
No, I don't.
I think I don't think I do.
Garcia's.
And I thought I was kind of like, taking the Mickey out of you.
Taking the piss out of it.
Taking the piss out of you here a little bit, but. And he's like, no, it sounds very good.
So what are these other names that kept popping up then? Mr. Furia and Professor Monso.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second
Okay.
here. So Alex, he's part French. He's actually very passionate about cinema and photography. That's what he studied in school mostly. He's directed several short films. He's published 8 books about photography. He's written a novel, and he's exhibited his work all around the world. Both of them actually met at university, but they didn't really stay in touch after their first meeting. Around 2000, when Salvador was contracted to compose a soundtrack for a television documentary, he approached Alex, who it turned out was actually his nearby neighbor, about using his home studio to do some recordings. And then they began to collaborate, and they actually enjoyed working with each other so much they decided they had to make some music together. So that was when they adopted the stage names Mr. Furia for Salvador and Professor Monso for Alex. Mm-hmm. They did not really ever explain why they picked those names, but they also sort of took on these personas of whenever we perform, we're going to wear glasses. They kind of became this like white suit type of a thing, but
Daft Punky of them.
A little Daft Punky, yeah. But it meant that they got to keep a little bit of an anonymity.
Like Marshmallow?
Yeah, exactly. They found that they really wanted to incorporate humor and also multilingual positivity into their music, which you can tell they obviously did.
Yes.
Obviously, growing up in Barcelona, if you know the history of Barcelona,
thank you.
The area is a hub for free trade, for, the exchange of knowledge. It has been for hundreds of years. Catalonia, the autonomous region of Spain that Barcelona is in, officially has 4 languages: Catalan, Spanish, Aranese, which is a dialect of Occitan, spoken in the Aran Valley. I'd never heard of it before.
Me either.
And Catalan Sign Language, which is pretty cool. But their songs over the course of their catalog feature lyrics in English, Spanish, French, Japanese, German, and some Catalan occasionally.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. The name The Pinkertones, I was like, oh, there's going to be some interesting story behind this, or why did they pick the Pinkertons? Not really. They said in an interview they were inspired by Henry Mancini, who wrote the Pink Panther theme song. And Alex and Salvador are huge fans of his. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this.
Oh, we're going there already?
Yeah, sorry, Randy. So I still am not sure if they actually moved studios or if it's still the same studio that Alex had or what happened. But at some point they constructed this sort of rooftop studio in Barcelona, and they called it Pinkerland Studios. They initially worked on and released 2 singles, and they started to catch the ear of some DJs and some music industry folks. They then released their first album called Pink Connection, exclusively in Spain in 2003 through the indie label called Wawa Records. They also later released that in Japan under the name Mission Pink. That actually started to get a lot of international recognition, and they signed a deal with the UK label Outstanding Records. They then repackaged and re-released their debut album worldwide under the name The BCN Connection. BCN is the airport code for the Josep Tarradellas Barcelona El Prat Airport.
That's very good.
Yeah, I try. I do also wonder, every time I read this, I read it wrong. I read BNC Connection. And I do wonder because they both they do have a history of working with video stuff. And if you know about video, BNC is the British Naval Connector. It's a little twist connector that gets used in professional video all the time. And it does feel to me like their type of humor to be like, it's the BCN connection, but it's also BNC connection. Like, I don't know. There's nothing that else. There's no design element or anything that hints to that, but it just to me stuck out every single time. That album has a lot of the key markers they would show up in their later work. Tons of samples, multilingual lyrics, heavy use of keyboards and synthesizers, and a really good sense of humor. The first track on that is a little cringy.
There's some cringe. They're funny though.
They're very funny.
And they treat music like it's like a playground.
Yeah.
Like they're very experimental, leans into that. They seem to just kind of follow a song where it takes them instead of where they feel like they want it to go. They kind of let it lead them. And it's very interesting sound.
I also tried very hard. I think probably because we've been talking about Rush so much and how they have that.
Have we?
Yeah. Surprise.
Okay.
How they have that very segmented, Alex and Getty go off and work on some music and Neil would go off and write lyrics and they would come together and make it fit together. I've started to think a lot more about like, how do other bands do that? And I've started to actively look when we're researching other bands, okay, how are they doing this? And obviously with these guys, there's so little information, I really couldn't find much.
Right.
But it is interesting to me. I would love to know how they used to sit down and create music. With that album, though, they really hit their mark with the music videos for it. They made, for sure, 2. Mas Pourquoi, which I think is how it's pronounced in French, and Viva la Juventud. Mas Pourquoi has a really fun animated music video that was really eye-catching. It played all over MTV Europe in the early 2000s. Viva la Juventud is a really strange music video that reminds me a lot of like Monty Python animations by Terry Gilliam. It's a lot of the cutout, a lot of rotoscoping.
Sure.
It's really... They both feel very handmade. They both feel very like these are independent artists, and they were because they got people from around Barcelona to make them. So because they wanted to keep it very local. They were super popular, like I said, on MTV Europe. Mas Pourquoi spent 19 weeks in the top 20 on MTV Spain's dance floor chart. So not bad for a debut album.
Pretty good.
During that same period after their debut, they spent a lot of time in the studio. They produced and co-produced several albums, including for other bands, according to Wikipedia, but I could not find what albums those were. So, They also composed soundtracks for the Spanish films Syncopat and Survival Train. They also spent some time experimenting with a whole bunch of remixes and sampling and all that kind of stuff.
As you do.
This gets us around to the Million Color Revolution. I do want to skip ahead a little bit because I just want to go over where they are now.
Okay. Skip away.
They actually released after the Million Color Revolution. They got even more international attention. When we'll talk about why in a few minutes, but they also released a remix of this album called More Colors in 2007 that has remixes and collaborations with bands like the Submarines, Kinky, Nortec Collective, PJ Rose, Zeta Bosia from the band Soda Stereo, and the Mexican Institute of Sound.
Soda Stereo. Soda Stereo's coming to Las Vegas.
There you go.
In September. Come see him at Dolby Live.
There you go. How much do we get paid for that advertisement?
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Probably nothing. Probably get in trouble for it.
Tickets are not sale yet.
Oh, crap. Nobody was supposed to know that. They released their third album, Wild Animals, in 2008. And actually, to promote it, they played every single stop of the Warped Tour that year. Fourth studio album called Modular came out in 2010. And then for their 10th anniversary, they released a compilation album called Amigos and Friends and another album called Singles 2001 to 2011. 2012, they released their fifth studio album called Life in Stereo. And then they did something that I thought was really cool. They started to work on this project called Rolf y Flor. That is Rolf, R-O-L-F, like the name, and Floor, F-L-O-R, like the name.
So rolling on the floor?
They're rolling on the floor.
Rolling on...
It's two people.
Rolling...
Rolf, like the name Rolf, and the name Floor. They're these really cool bilingual English and Spanish albums that are the same song. So they released two albums, like Rolf and Floor Visit London. One is in English, one is in Spanish.
Oh,
and so you can learn, kids can learn the languages. They're very cool.
Well, that's nice.
And they're really fun. And they remind me a lot of They Might Be Giants.
That's
science albums.
Very that, yes.
They feel like it too when you listen to them.
ABC 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. They kind of continued to do soundtrack work and stuff together, and they created a beautiful classical and electronic soundtrack for the Spanish film Leon, which is available online. But sadly, shortly after that, they kind of drifted apart, and they're now, still friends. They have not completely shut the door on Pinkertones, but as of 2020, they've basically said we're done with the Pinkertones.
Okay.
So coming back to the Million Color Revolution, like I said, released February 7th, 2006. All the music was written and credited to both of Ray and to Lovett. Recorded, produced, and mixed by the Pinkertones at Pinkerland Studios from September 2003 to March 2005. So they had 16 months, basically, to work on this.
Pretty significant chunk of time, yeah.
In the liner notes, there's an extensive listing of thanks, but also this message. There is no manifesto for the Million Color Revolution. The aim of this is to suggest, not to impose. Play the music, play the games, play the Million Color Revolution. Mr. Furia and Professor Manso, the Pinkertones.
Ooh. So deep.
Yeah. Didn't really chart. Surprise, surprise.
No, it did not.
Didn't make any significant sales numbers. The reviews are very few and far between.
They are.
AllMusic gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Pitchfork gave it 7.3 out of 10, so not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. However, it did get used in a ton of TV shows and video games, which we'll go over when we get to the track.
Yeah, very, very heavy media usage.
Yeah.
And you'll hear why, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to identify why it's used in stuff like that.
I did not realize these guys had such a strong... I knew this album, songs from this album and songs from some of their later albums were used in a lot of television, film, and video games.
Yeah.
It did not occur to me that maybe these guys came from that background of producing music and making music for television and film.
Sure.
And suddenly when you start to put that together, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, this makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
So like you said, I own this album. Which is cool because it means that we can actually look things up on it, because for some reason I found it very difficult to find the lyrics for this online.
So did I.
So good news, they are in this liner book.
I can't read that.
The cover of this is designed by a guy named Borja Martinez, not the footballer born in 1994 or the Ecuadorian poet, pianist, and painter who died in 1927. Damn it. Is another Borja Martinez. I'm pretty sure that this Borja Martinez is Borja Martinez Perez from Barcelona, who was studying graphic design at the Escola de Disney Elevita in Barcelona. I think I typed that wrong. In the late 90s. He would go on to found a graphic design studio called Lo Siento in 2007, which does a lot of wonderful design work, according to their translated website. He's done a whole bunch of portraits of famous people as well, using crushed pigments that are really beautiful and unique. And he did one of Obama during his presidency that was very famous and ended up on a lot of.
Okay.
I think they used it on a DVD cover or something. But it's a really cool idea. He takes the pigments and crushes them up, and then literally just like sprinkles them out onto a surface, and then like presses them.
Oh,
It's real cool.
okay.
CD. It was a CD only, basically, and digital. There was no,
No
vinyl
vinyl,
at the time. There was no cassettes. Were basically dead. The cover is this really blocky lettering, and it just says the Pinkertones, and then you turn it over and it says the Million Color Revolution. But what I think is cool is all the printed materials here are designed to be written on and like modified by you, so you have something totally unique. So, for example, the back of this, it has a track listing on it, but there's a little checkbox next to each one. And then at the bottom, it gives you a key. So it says if you put a check mark in the box, it's an awesome song. If you put an X in it, it's a can't live without it song. And if you put a little dot, it's a sexy song.
Ah,
Inside, when you open it up here on the back. So one thing that I thought was really funny, and I'm sure this is one of those things where in the initial design, they were like, this would be so cool to do. And then somebody added up the numbers and they're like, fuck that. In the little spot here in the hinge part of the CD, it says your pencil here. And I'm 100% positive somebody was like, we could put a different colored pencil in every single one copy of this. And that would have like completely blown this up.
Yep.
And they were probably like, that's going to cost 2 pennies extra per
you know how
CD.
much that's going to cost?
So that got cut, I'm sure. I couldn't find proof of that, but I'm positive that was there. And then on the back, there's a word search, a color word search that says, find the Pinkertones revolutionary colors. And then it gives you a list of all the colors. When I tried to do this the other day, all I found was white and sex. And I don't know what that means.
What is that? Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
Looks like you could color the back of it.
You can. The rear is actually meant to be colored in with your own. So, and it's exactly the same outline as the front. So you can color in the rear and then put it in backwards, and now it's your own custom color.
That's very
cover.
cool.
Inside, obviously, like I said, all the lyrics, but there's also little games. So there's a maze here that's a help Professor Monso find Mr. Furia. There's this page, which is mixed Pinker faces, combine and swap the parts of the Pinkertones' faces.
Oh, I like that one.
This one is on this side. It's spot the difference. Find the 8 differences between Mr. Furia number 1 and number 2. Odd one out. Which Professor Monso is different from the others. This one I thought was interesting. It's called Link the Pinker Songs, and you match each song to its subtitle. I was like, oh, interesting. The songs will have subtitles. I don't think these are actually intended for each one, because the subtitles are things like Blue Love Song, Let's Go Dancing Tonight, Whistling the Bossa, Back Door, The Comedian Ray Brothers.
No, I bet you I could
Front
do
Door.
that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Take Off in Tijuana, Nutty Instrumental.
That's in Pee Wee Nuts.
You think that I would definitely believe. Monso's Personal Psychedelic Hip Hop Trip.
Okay.
Ladies and Gentlemen, obviously that's the intro.
Yeah.
Thank You, Bob.
Ooh. I'd have to narrow that one down.
Transcendental Calypso.
Okay.
Siesta-ish Hawaiian Mood. I know which one that is.
Yeah.
That one's the we'll get to that. Rehearsal Joke and Cyberpunk Haiku.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's also they note in here that the illustrations from this, with the exception of some of the game illustrations, are from the music video for Sonido Total, created by a guy named Lupe Serrano, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah.
You want to take a quick break? We'll come back and do a track by track.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see you in a minute. Welcome back. Señoras y señores,
Señores y señoras.
what are the basic colors, Matthew?
Of?
Just in general.
Are we just talking like red, green, and blue? Are we talking?
Just in general, the basic colors.
I think they're colors of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They
Roy
don't.
G.
They don't
Biv?
ever specify. Maybe it's all of them.
Red, orange, yellow,
Yeah.
green, blue, indigo, violet. Is that what we're talking about?
Maybe this is just a little 35-second introductory track.
Yeah. This is my least favorite part of the whole record. And that may be why I was so pissed off at you.
Because it starts with this.
Yes, and I was so mad. And even listening to it today again, I'm like, God damn it, I do hate it. And then this song's over in 30 seconds. I'm like, wait a second, no, I don't. Because this is bar none my least favorite part of the whole thing.
Well, it sounds like this.
What are the basic colors?
Señoras y señores, ladies and gentlemen, tenemos el gusto y el honor de presentar. We're to present
Right? So, it's just saying, hey, something's about to happen.
Right?
Okay, so probably almost like a concept record unveiling. Like, hey, sit down. Something's happening. Here comes the curtain. Like, you weren't in the bathroom, were you?
Come back.
Now,
quick.
this is starting. Somebody ring those damn bells.
Yeah, it's definitely I'm glad it's short. I'm glad that it's a short little thing that they threw on here, and I'm sure this was them screwing around a little bit. You do get a taste of. There's a lot of different instruments played on this album. They're also very heavy into synths. So here, Moog Prodigy. They also play the tambourine, triangle, congas, and then a ton of samples to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And it does lead right into the next song, which is "Welcome to TMCR" or the Million Color Revolution.
Exactly.
This is a very smooth, it's a funky beat. It's got would not be out of place as a porn soundtrack.
It's a very intro-y type song to this whole thing. And you got a thing for funk, don't you?
I do.
Let's see. Maggot Brain,
Yep.
Fantastic Negrito.
Yep.
Some of Beck's stuff has got funk in. You like it a funk, don't you?
It turns out I do.
you like
And,
it a funk.
You know, a slap-a-doo bass. I am just starting to figure this out about myself, actually.
Like even some of me, like everything, like Mika's stuff.
Yeah.
You like it a funk.
And
you
it's,
do.
It's one of those things where. Have you ever had something that you really like? You like it, but you don't really realize that you like it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like it's all the things that you're listening to, or all the things that you're reading, or all the things that you're watching. You start to put together like, that's kind of that, and that fits with that, and they all just and suddenly you're like, what is all this pointing to? And it's just like, and you're like, oh. Maybe I do like that.
I think you do.
It was the same with penis. So it was just all these little things. And I was like, maybe I am gay.
I knew you were going to say that.
You knew I was going there.
You were going to say that, right?
Always ends up back with penis. It's Mr. Furious singing lead vocals while they both do backup vocals here. Even though there aren't too many lyrics on this track. It sounds like this. I'm sure Beastie Boys sampled some of these. Not these songs, but same
just
sources.
So it's
Paul's Boutique.
It's funky, like trashy hi-hat sound, and it flies against kind of what's headed our way.
Yeah.
And the rest of this record, it's interesting that you're that funkified.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of my favorite songs of this album, but I think that it's a nice introduction to it.
Oh, I love it.
You love it?
Oh yeah.
I do think it's a very, which we'll see throughout this. There's a lot of like bossa nova in this.
Well, there's one very specific
Yes.
bossa nova piece
Yeah.
coming up in a second, but yeah.
Instruments they used to make this track: bass guitar, electric guitar, Moog Prodigy, Planet N, the Elka X55P, flute, triangle, guero, congas, bongos, and a whole bunch of samples.
Judo.
Had to look up. I had to look up what the Planet N was, and it's an electronic piano built by the Hohner Company.
Honer.
Hohner in the 60s and 70s. The
They made
only
harmonicas as well.
thing, yeah, the only thing you can control on it though is the tremolo on or off. So
Oh.
it's like a regular keyboard, but you can just turn the tremolo on or off. That's the only setting on it. So there's an on and off switch, and then there's a tremolo on and off switch right next to each other, and that's it.
Okay, so all I see is like these two guys just going through like all of Barcelona's thrift stores, right?
Yeah.
Finding every ridiculous instrument that hasn't been played since 1967. Being like, let's get that.
Yeah.
Get it back, refurbish it, and go, let's figure out how to use it.
I can see
Because
that.
it has so many unique sounds.
While we're at it, let's watch some 70s porn.
That's right. It's crazy. Like the sounds that they're extracting on this, which I did not expect, or at least didn't hear the first time. It's just so mad at you.
Like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of these are featured in TV and video. This one was on the final season of Ugly Betty a couple of times.
America Ferrara.
America Ferrara in Barcelona. Karma Hunters?
Yeah, again, very catchy.
Yeah.
Kind of plays into the idea of karma if you listen to it. You know what this sounds like to me? I'm going to tell you. It sounds like I'm listening to a cartoon. Not the classical music stuff, the incidental music of a cartoon.
Yeah.
That's what this sounds like. It feels like an animated song. I don't know how to explain that other than if you listen to it and shut your eyes. I can see an animation. I don't know what I see. I just know it's animated.
Did you watch the music video for this song?
I did not. I usually don't.
You should go watch it when we're done with this because it is animated.
Is it really?
And it is done in a very unique style that like swept MTV. People were nuts for this video.
Really?
Yeah. It's very simple. It's a little
I have good ideas.
homemade feeling, but it's really cool. I really like this song. I think it's funny.
Me
I think it's
too.
upbeat. I think it's one of my favorites on the album. It does sound a little kiddie to me, but it's okay.
Again, cartoon.
Very cartoony. I also think that the message, all politicians are crooks, we are karma hunters,
We are karma hunters.
perfectly stands out today.
I don't understand what you mean.
Oh, okay. I'll explain it here while we listen to
Okay.
this track.
Vote for the instant karma party right now.
That sound.
Yeah, I mean, so they played an electric guitar here, the Moog Mini Moog, used a grand piano. They did some scratching. There's tambourine. There's a doogie,
Okay.
and a bunch of samples. And the samples, one of the cool things about doing this 20 years later is I can figure out where all the samples come from because people have cataloged all of them.
True.
So some of the samples from this, there's a song called, oh God, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. Frenis Hey by Alan Gott and his orchestra from 1960. One Note Samba by Raimundo Ros and his orchestra. Batacuda by Alan Gate and his orchestra. Tren Transoceano Bucaramanga by Los Peniques. I am totally ruining that. From 1970. There's a sample from Mac the Knife, the version by Enoch Light and the Light Brigade from 1959.
Right? This is so entrenched in 50, I want to say 57 to 73. Something like that. That's what I feel like.
There's a sample from Misty by the Ray Charles Singers from 1961.
15 years span. Yeah.
There's a sample from a song called Yamasuki by the Yamasuki Singers from 1971. And this is maybe the most insane thing that I have found since starting to do this podcast.
What's that?
They sampled a thing from a campaign song called the 68 Nixon, This Year's Model, by a trio called the Chad Mitchell Trio, or sometimes called the Denver, Boise, and Johnson Trio. So they were originally formed in 1958 in the Pacific Northwest. They made folk music, and they became known for these satirical songs criticizing the Cold War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the Vietnam War. They had a lot of turnover. In 1965, they replaced Chad, the original founder, with a young upstart guy named John Denver.
Aha!
That's John Denver. Later, thank God I'm a country boy, country roads, Mr. Sunshine on my goddamn shoulders, John Denver. So,
Hi there, voters. How do you feel? Tired of the same old vote appeal? Well, look who's back with a brand new style, a brand new look, and a brand new smile. It's a 68 Nixon, everything's new. A brand new image just created for you. A dozen different finishes and so much finesse. He's got a brand new doggy.
Not checkers, but chess.
Now the Reagan can ramble, the Rocky can race, but Dick can jump from left to right and not lose his place. His 56 production was loaded with spite. His 60 was a copy of the 58 Ike. But third time's a charm, and if it's charm that you like the 68 Nixon, he's different this year. The 68 Nixon is here, and he is liberal and conservative. He's humble and he's proud. He's more than just a candidate. He's a crowd. Yes, he's the 68 Nixon, a brother to men. So run and see him quick before he changes again. In every town and hamlet he is soon to appear. The 68 Nixon, he's different this year. The 68 Nixon, guaranteed not to smear. The 68 Nixon is here.
The preceding was a paid political denouncement.
Wow.
yeah, that's the whole track. Yeah, it's such a great little,
Well, you listen closely, you can hear John Denver.
right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, that was so funny to me to find that though, and be like, it is this funny, like literal political denouncement of Richard Nixon in 1968, and like, oh god, it's just so.
Why do
funny
we
to
have
me.
to be so divisive?
I don't know.
Why are politics so divisive, Kyle?
They weren't like this in the past.
They weren't like this in the 60s.
in the good old days.
Oh.
Ugh. Also, the cover from this album looks like a flashback from Kenneth from the show 30 Rock. Like, it looks like something you would see in a flashback of him. It's so funny. But yeah, that completely struck me as like, okay, so there's a connection from the Pinkertones to John Denver to Richard Nixon.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's how you get there.
Beyond Nostalgia.
That's instrumental.
Yeah.
I love the bossa nova, right? So this
Yeah.
is the bossa nova. And this feels like a 60s sitcom, right? Early 60s, before the hippies ruined it. Like the lady's wearing one of those too short mini skirts and her hair's up in a bun, and the guy's wearing a dark suit with a skinny tie, and they're just kind of hanging out, and then boom, they're dancing to the music. That early 60s vibe, where it isn't too wild, but it's not too plain either. Right? You know, like
I could see that, yeah.
that's kind of what that's what I'm hearing when I hear this song, and I loved it. I love every part of it.
That's awesome. I also don't think it's a coincidence that it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Oh, 420.
Yeah, it sounds like this. Both Mr. and Professor handled the whistling and buzz
I want to
on this
listen to
one.
that whole one again. I want to listen to that whole thing.
Well, you can after this.
Okay.
Bass guitar, Elka, X55P, Planet N flute, panadero, congas, triangle, cowbells, shaker, woodblock, hand claps, and a whole bunch of samples. They were also joined by Andrea Ogioni on the classical guitar. Andrea is a guitar player and teacher who learned under some of the greatest Spanish and Italian classical guitar masters in Italy and Spain, according to Google Translate. Was featured in the Chicas Project, which is a dual language reality TV show that sounds just as schlocky as American reality TV, but in Spanish and Catalan, I believe. It also appeared in the Russian film Newsmakers. But it's a fun little bossa
I
nova
didn't
song.
see it.
Les Heroes.
Oh, so it's more cinematic now.
Yeah.
Right? I love this song so much. I do. It's French, right? Very dramatic tone shift. I love this song.
We also jump really into a very wordy song.
Yeah, very.
From being a lot of very heavy instrumental and heavy samples and things, this is a very wordy song.
Very Frenchy.
Les Heroes means the hero.
The hero.
Yeah. And it sounds like this.
Je suis l'héros de ma grand-mère, la plus grosse star de l'univers. Je suis l'héros de ma grand-mère, sans être encore un millionnaire. L'héros de ma grand-mère, la plus grosse star de l'univers. Je suis l'héros de ma grand-mère, sans être encore un millionnaire.
If you translate the chorus, it is, I am my grandmother's hero, the biggest star in the universe. I am my grandmother's hero, even though I'm not a millionaire yet.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's a sweet song to one of their grandmothers.
And producer Randy is correct. It does sound an awful lot like Beck.
Oh, it does sounds a lot like Beck. Yeah. They played the fuzz guitar on this. Some more Elka X55P, the clavinet D6, and a bunch of samples again. They sampled from the song "Go for Broke" by Bo Diddley from 1971.
Again, and in playing the clavinet, that's Stevie Wonder territory right there. Come on, man.
I think you're right. Maybe I'm now putting this together. Maybe I like this because I like music from the 60s and 70s.
You do.
And this fits right in there.
Just own it.
Yeah. Sonido Total.
This is Sonido Total.
Sonido del Espacio. This is
global, very global.
Yeah.
Borderless.
Yeah.
The beginning of it reminds me a lot of the song Juicy by Better Than Ezra. It used to be the theme song for Desperate Housewives back in the day.
Yeah.
And the beginning of it, I'm like, oh man, I know exactly what that sounds like. And it's super catchy, damn it. Damn you, Kyle. Because I want to listen to it more.
This is such a fun song. I love this song. It hits something right in like a little fun music spot in my brain every time I listen to it. This is another song though where the music video really, really sold this to a lot of people. At the time, people there were these $1 million music videos that were happening in the early 2000s that were really heavily done in digital, a lot of computer generated stuff. This is so lo-fi, and it's like hand rotoscoping, and there's a lot of like cutout pieces made with paper that are then hand animated and stuff. It's a really cool music video. Was conceived and directed by a guy named Lupe Serrano. It's hard to find a lot of info about it, unfortunately. But it's really cool, and it is still out there if you want to go watch it on YouTube. The song sounds like this.
Contemos a la inversa. 10 segundos y fuego. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Sonido en el espacio, silencio en mi cabeza, rugido intergaláctico.
Sound in space, silence in my head, intergalactic roar, total sound, sound in space, total sound, stereophonic sound. So that sample that's there, really, the sonido total, sonido del espacio, that is sampled from a demonstration album made to show off the total sound of stereo equipment created by RCA. It's called Sonido Estereofónico para su deleite total from RCA Victor, featuring a guy named Raúl Matas from 1963. It's a lot of classical music. It's a lot of jazz tracks. But then there's this track, which is specifically like, here's how stereo sound works.
Okay, so
left, right, center.
Not only are they buying out thrift stores in Barcelona, like all of their old gear, but they're also buying like every box of old vinyl or music from film strips, science film strips, and have to sit there and listen and catalog all that shit. Probably like 100 hours to get 15 seconds worth of usable anything.
Probably.
Oh my God.
They did a lot of work, man.
That's a lot of work.
They used a Cuban tres, is that kind of fun little clinking sound in the background. Moog Mini Moog, Moog Prodigy, Planet N, Elka X55P again. They used a thing called a Quasi MIDI Sirius,
Sure.
which is a groove synth, which features subtractive hybrid tone generation synthesizer reference to a DTE or digital true emulation synthesis, which was introduced in 1997 by Quasimidi.
Can I ask how the Kroba sub-sampling is handled?
It is handled with a bipolar rotational groove,
Copy
which
that.
eliminates vibration. Yeah.
As it does.
When I read that description of what a quasi MIDI Sirius is, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, just say it's a keyboard.
It's a keyboard.
It's a fun electronic keyboard. Like, come on, man.
It's a Casio.
It's a Casio. This one, though, this is another one that was featured Ugly Betty, Entourage, The Border, Flash Gordon, the 2007 remake, and Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Okay.
But it was also featured on the Forza Motorsport 2 soundtrack. And
Video game.
it got played every time you would go back to a lobby. There were like 4 songs that would play.
One of those.
And this was one of those. I played that game a lot when it came out.
Yep.
And it is fucking stuck in my head.
Yeah, there are
because
some
of that.
games like MLB 2006, like
Yeah.
every splash page or the splash page, I hear that music. And it's like it's like ingrained in your head. If you hear it out, you're like, oh, I got a game to play.
Yeah. Did you ever play? I can't remember if it was Crazy Taxi or Crazy Taxi 2.
No, but I'm sure my kids did.
It had that. It was from the late 90s, and it had that the Offspring song, the yeah. But it would restart every single time you would restart the level. And so the first 30 seconds of that song are so, like, if that comes on, I'm like, the car speeds up and I'm like, you're gonna pick up a fare. It's bad.
Pick up a fare.
It's in there now. Also, that song led to one of the biggest arguments I've ever had with somebody, because I swear to God, they say, pack up your rules, pack up your tchotchkes. Like tchotchkes?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine is like, no, they say something completely different. And I think he's full of shit. And we never did figure that out because obviously at the time you could not just look up lyrics.
No, you'll never speak to him again.
We'll never speak again.
Understood.
Yeah. Piccolissima descarga.
Very good. It's a short little one.
Yeah. Did you translate what that means?
Nope.
Tiny discharge.
All right.
Make of that whatever you will. It's only 34 seconds long. Like you said, it's a little short one. It sounds like this. Interesting little interlude, but
experimental little thing. That's fine. Palate cleanser, as it were.
In Pee-wee Nuts.
Little humor here, huh?
Yeah. Another instrumental bossa nova song. Absolutely feels like something that you'd see from a car chase in a 60s film.
I have a 70s updated Rockford Files sound.
Yeah.
The drums are so freaking good on this, and it could have easily fit on the Ocean's 11 soundtrack.
Oh, 100%.
I love this song.
Sounds like this. I'm one of the fucking weirdos who listens to KPM 1000 as an album, Randy. Randy was just pointing out that musicians make these massive catalogs for use in TV and video and things. And one of the more famous ones is called the KPM 1000 series. It's a massive catalog of hundreds of albums that are made by a whole bunch of different people. This song in particular that I'm about to talk about is called Funky Fanfare by Keith Mansfield from 1968. It's been used in so many films, TV shows, musical pieces. It's hard to track. It was very famously used by Quentin Tarantino in Kill Bill. But Funky Fanfare sounds like this.
I'd like to apologize for that card. It says funky welfare. It should be.
It could still be pretty funky welfare, Randy. If you're listening to this, but you're like getting some welfare. You're like, cash that check, and I'm gonna go buy some food. That could be pretty funky.
I like it.
Yeah, but I could honestly I could talk for like 6 hours about the KPM 1000 library because it's so. Like I said, I'm the type of boring person who's like, oh wow,
Really?
that's fascinating, and I will like add it to my iTunes library and listen to it, and like, yeah, it's fascinating to me because when you listen to it, you pick out little bits and pieces, and you're like, oh, that's from that episode of the TV show that I watched 5 years ago, and this is from that movie, and this is from this other place, and this is from that song.
Nerd.
Yeah, I know. But I think the reason why, not only does it this song immediately put you in that 60s or 70s crime drama, is because that's when that was used so often.
100%.
So often.
Yeah.
This one also featured in a racing game called Project Gotham Racing 4, a Snow Gods show called Snow Gods, and Flash Gordon, the 2007 version. Instrumentation include bass guitar, clavinet, D6, shaker, and samples. They were joined by a guy named Stevie Rivers on the Elka X55P in this song. They also took a sample from a song called Drummer Man by the Brady Bunch.
Ooh.
From 1972, which it is a way funkier song than it has any right to be until the second the Brady kids start singing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They totally ruin it.
Silver platter.
Yeah. I mean, also, they sample from Go for Broke by Bo Diddley from 1971. But it definitely has that feeling to it.
I like it.
Pink Floyd.
Oh, my God. Best song title ever.
It's like if Pink Floyd and Sigmund Freud had a baby and that baby grew up to think everything represented a penis.
Right? Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. It's also in German.
It's in German. Another tone shift because it sounds like the Beatles doing their music hall sound stuff in German.
Yeah. You've heard
with like a barbershop quartet type thing going on.
You've heard the Beatles German cover, or not covers, but they covered their own music in German, right?
No, I didn't hear this.
Oh God, you gotta go check it out sometime. She Loves You in German, sung by the actual Beatles, is so funny for some reason.
Oh my God, now
It's
I
great.
must. That's what this sounds like. But if it already exists, well, what the hell are you doing?
Die Lieb du ja ja ja.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pink Floyd though sounds like this.
Der Club der polnischen Versager hat nicht mein Poster, das ist schade. Aber ein Stückchen weiter vorne setze ich mich in die warme Sonne.
Oh, that wah wah part I think is so stupid, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
And it fits so well. It absolutely reminds me too of. Did you ever watch the British TV show A Bit of Fry and Laurie?
Nope.
So it's Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry. They did like comedy bits.
Yeah.
But at the end of every single show, Stephen Fry would play the piano where he's not actually playing the piano, but he pretends to, and it's like part of the joke. But then Hugh Laurie would play the saxophone, and it was just him going
over and over again
for like 2 minutes. They would play a whole song that way, where Stephen Fry would be in the background, like cracking his knuckles and stuff, or making drinks on the piano and stuff. And like it's such a funny bit, but it was every single episode ended that way. But this absolutely reminds me of that. The translation of the chorus is: stylish people don't listen to pop music. They listen only to bossa nova now. Nothing is what it once was anymore, neither in Berlin nor in Barcelona.
Okay. I was listening to it. I never looked the lyrics up, but I could hear, he says, pop music.
Pop music. Talk about pop music.
music.
Shooby-dooby-doo-up. Bop-bop, shoobop. They were also joined by a guy named Vladimir De Castro on the grand piano, who's being conducted by Professor Monso for this. And this one was featured in a Kia commercial a few years ago, which is where I think a lot of people probably recognize it.
Interesting.
Many years ago.
It's another short one, right?
Yeah, another little quick interlude. Sounds like this.
Many years ago, man invented color, which is a wonderful invention.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think it actually goes on a little bit longer than that. I think I faded it out because it's just more of that same do 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 do
Right.
do do. I think the only really great thing here is that little sequencer that they have in the background. That do 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 do. That's really cool. I don't know what it was about it. It's very like
That's the ARP.
yeah. It's probably
The
more the ARP.
arpeggiator.
Yeah.
ARP.
They play. There is for sure an ARP in 2 other tracks. It wasn't listed on that one, but I'm positive it was that. Love Tape.
Okay, so yeah, I can't tell if this song was supposed to be a joke or not.
No, I think it's dead serious.
If it is, it's cool.
Yeah.
And if it isn't, it's still cool. I assume you love that flute at the end of the song.
I
right?
do,
I
yeah.
kind of figured.
The whole song is great, but the flute is fantastic.
It's nostalgic and
Yeah.
making a mixtape for someone, right? That's the whole song.
Yeah.
It's
And
nice.
it's one of those things where this was probably the last time you could make this song seriously as not like I'm going to make you a mixtape because it's like a retro nostalgia bullshit thing.
No, it's a playlist. Like, I made you a playlist.
Yeah.
Took me 8 minutes.
Early 2000s is the last time you could really get away with this and be like, I'm going to give you a cassette tape. And it's really funny that they have the problems of
Yeah.
she doesn't have a tape player, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
she loses it, and then it's really funny. This is what it sounds like.
I made a tape cassette with my favorite songs. You can play it in your car while you're driving home.
Matthew just said this is a really Beck vibe, but he sounds like Bono, and I was like, oh shit, he does. It's a lot more poppy than
Yeah.
anything else on this album. This one also has a great music video where it's a girl riding a scooter, but it's really clearly done in front of like shitty rear projection. It's really funny.
Also sounds like it could be on the old Batman show.
Oh, absolutely.
Waiting for a pow and a zap to come along.
They played a 12-string Rickenbacker guitar here.
Very nice.
And I'm pretty sure that's what mimics the harp noises at the beginning, because I don't think it's actually a harp. I think it's that.
Probably not a harp.
Talkbox guitar
Cheaper
as
to get a
well for
guitar.
that effect. Yeah. Moog, Mini Moog, Moog Prodigy, Bell's Flute, Guero, Finger Snaps, a whole bunch of samples. They sampled from a song called Barefoot in the Park by Ronnie Aldrich and his 2 pianos, featuring the London Festival Orchestra from 1967. The Big Band Orchestra playing from the soundtrack to The Traveling Tune, which is a movie from 1961 I'd never heard of. And a song called Synthetic Substitution by Melvin Bliss from 1973.
What the hell are they finding this stuff?
I don't know, man. Like you said, they must have just scoured Barcelona and probably all of Southern Europe and just every single
buying
record store. And
25-cent records and
Yeah.
listen to and go, that's crap, throw it
Yeah.
out. That's crap, throw it out. Ooh,
So-
this is nice.
we now kind of get into a section of the album that I like to call we were experimenting in the studio and put it on the album section.
What, Mojo Moog?
Yeah.
I like Mojo Moog.
I'm not saying these are bad, but I am saying that these are really clearly like them just fooling around in the studio.
Well, it's the end of the record, yeah.
Yeah. This is a happy little song. It's a nice little piece, but it's a little too long for me.
Kind of blends vintage texture, modern rhythms. I love it. It sounds like Thomas Dolby updated.
Yeah, all right.
It's so freaking good.
Yeah, it sounds like this.
I like it.
That keyboard part for sure. I can hear Thomas Dolby in there.
My pace matched it while I was on my lunch. It got right at that point. I'm like, yeah, let's get 8 more minutes of this.
This one for sure. ARP sequencer is in here. Both Moogs that they have, Moog Mini Moog and Moog Prodigy. There's a Yamaha SHS 200 in here. A thing called a Cuica, which is a Brazilian friction drum.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Straw sounding thing.
Yeah.
yeah. And then they also sampled from a song called Sarva by Baden Powell from 1966 and Som do Carnaval by Baden Powell from 1966. So, Baden Powell. Pinkerland Becaina.
Blue shadow on the trail.
It's exactly what I thought too. It sounds so much like
the song from Three Amigos.
Yeah.
As soon as it started, I started laughing my ass off.
It sounds like this. Let's start it with this. I thought that exact same thing, and I was like, this can't be intentional. But then again, maybe it is, because they seem like the type of guys who would love the Three Amigos.
Why not? Those songs are great.
Right?
You're just honoring Randy Newman at that point.
Yeah.
It's
so good. They actually think that this is the one with the ukulele in it.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more. They called it a Hawaiian or like Pacific Island influence to this. Bacaina is a Catalan word to describe that nod that's caused by sleepiness.
Oh.
So, when you're watching TV and you... still watching.
Oh, no, I gotta write that down.
Bacaina. Becaina. And it is, according to the Wikipedia article for it, or the dictionary article for it, it is pronounced Bacaina.
I just want, when Heather does that, I want to be able to point it out.
Bacaina.
Oh, Bacaina.
Electric slide guitar in here, obviously. Some acoustic guitar, Cuban tres, theremin, which Randy pointed out back there, some bongos and a shaker, and a ukulele. Very fun little song.
Ukulele.
Ukulele in Barcelona. That's fun to say. Ukulele in Barcelona.
It is fun to say.
Gone, Go On.
Okay, so I don't love this one.
No.
Again, this is where it gets weird. I mean, I love the fact that they're mixing old media with new sounds, but this is one of the songs that I could absolutely do without. It's very disjointed, and I don't like it as much. It's not horrible. It's just kind of it's awkward.
I hate the sample.
Oh, you do?
I hate the sample. The sample is from a song called Ooby Dooby Ooby Doo by Shelley Berman from 1964, and the album is called The Sex Life of the Primate. And it's very it just, even the original song is just the most like, it just like makes me tighten up, and I'm just like, oh, this is so like, what it honestly reminds me of, and this is no offense to anyone out there, but I'm about to say the most offensive thing I possibly can. It totally reminds me of like when I was very small, and we didn't really go to church, but every once in a while somebody would pull us into church, like, oh, so-and-so is performing at like this church function or whatever. And we would go, and it would just be these kids performing. Yeah,
it's cringy.
It's very cringy. And even, when I was a kid, it was just like, oh, do we really have to sit through this? And now as an adult,
glad you're not a parent.
Yeah. Oh God, I can only imagine.
You have to go to all those concerts and be like, oh no, it's really, really good.
And you got to sit there for 2 hours while everybody else's kids perform before yours do. That's exactly what it reminds me of, though. They also sampled from an album called Tomorrow's World by John Baker from 1968, which you can kind of hear in here as well. It sounds like this.
I can't forget the day we met. Felt so fine when your lips met mine. Told me then would never end.
Yeah. This one is not.
It's not that great.
No.
Chorus sounded okay.
It's okay. There's duds on it. So what?
Yeah. ARP sequencer again, Moog, MIDI Moog, Moog Prodigy. Noise generator is credited in this, which I'm assuming that's kind of that droning noise.
So noise.
Yeah. And then a ton of samples. Maybe next Saturday.
I like this one better than the last one.
Yeah.
It kind of has Dirty Vegas vibes. It's good club shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. Like I can see the appeal of this. It's excellent and it's good for a party.
This
is a good for a party song.
There's a slightly different version of this that is a Daft Punk song for sure.
Oh,
I mean, it's not, that doesn't actually exist.
No,
but, like,
yes. Yeah.
The same samples and everything.
Yep.
Mixed in a slightly different way. It's a Daft Punk song. It's a weird little song. I don't know. It sounds like this.
Maybe next Saturday.
I'm fairly certain that is a cat.
I think that was a
Ray.
cat.
There's a theremin in here, electric guitar, bass guitar, Moog Prodigy, ARP
Another
sequencer
theremin?
again.
With the same theremin.
Yeah,
More than
Elka
once.
S55X, a whole bunch of samples in here. It's another one of those little. It's not bad, but it's definitely like. You guys just heard about 20 seconds of it. It is basically that same thing for almost 4 minutes.
Correct.
So
Yeah, it's a long one.
at 30 seconds, it's not bad. At 4 minutes, you're like, all right, wrap it up, guys.
That's what the advance button is for.
Right. Next. TMCR Grand Finale.
I like the end.
I do too.
Yeah, it's good.
This is actually, I think this is a nice little wrap up to it.
Mhm.
And it's not as bold as the opening is, but I like it. It kind of leads out of the album really nicely. And it sounds like this. Yeah.
Kyle's funk has returned.
My funk has returned to close out the album.
A lot of Lenny Kravitz sound.
A lot
there.
of Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz. Again, same old instruments from the whole album. But the one thing I thought was interesting is they did specifically credit scratching Moog on here, and I could not figure out what that was.
I don't know. Maybe Moog made a scratcher.
I'm assuming
Scratching
they maybe
machine.
fed like album scratching through a Moog, maybe. I don't know. But it was featured in the game FIFA 07 as well, which is a weird song to feature in a FIFA soccer game, but sure, whatever. But yeah, that's the million color.
Yeah, you made
Revolution.
it the whole show.
I made it the whole show
without really
without
falling over your
fucking
words
up
like that.
bad.
It's an excellent record. I didn't think I would say that.
I'm so happy to hear
I
you
didn't
say
say that at first. But it is. It's interesting, and unlike a lot of the albums that you recommend, no offense to you.
No, it's 100% understandable. I
wouldn't
pick weird shit.
listen to a lot of those again.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely listen to this again. Like without a doubt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
You're not. What's the story? Morning Glory isn't in your rotation.
It is not.
Oh, okay. That's a surprise.
Never has been. It
Oh,
won't
okay.
be. No, it's not. No.
odd.
Nope. This one way surpasses that.
Okay.
Piece of shit record it is.
I think that if nothing else, even if this is not your style of music, even if you don't like it, what you can get from this is these two guys are masters of the musical arts.
Yeah.
In multiple ways. And when you get two people who like to make music like that, but they're also having fun and they're not being driven by like the commercial, like, well, we have to be successful musicians. Suddenly you have something really special.
Yeah, it's a shame that they're not more popular than they were.
Yeah.
Well, even as producers.
Yeah.
You expect with that kind of pedigree, with that kind of delivery that they just did, that they would be in demand.
Yeah.
That other people, even if they're, from Barcelona, like that you would just be busy.
Yeah.
But they don't seem like they've been incredibly busy.
No. And I think that might honestly be by choice.
Okay. Which is fair.
I get the feeling.
Make choices.
Yeah. I mean, I always get the feeling in all their interviews and things where people say, what's next? And they're kind of like, well, whatever comes along, whatever we decide to do next.
Wow.
And I think that's
it's nice to have that kind of luxury.
Right. Yeah.
Be like, meh.
Yeah. And I think that's also why, they can pick and choose what they want to do now. Alex, like I said, is focused real heavily on photography and cinematography now. And Il Rey, the king of ukulele, is touring with Alex Borstein right now. So
they're working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But the other guy just went a different direction.
Yeah.
Just found a passion somewhere else.
Yeah. And I think that as well.
It's probably more solitary.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, I'm sure.
And if that's kind of how he's built.
And I also think that a lot of this is they maybe were not intent on, they just enjoyed making the music in the beginning. And they were like, oh, we enjoy doing this with one another. Let's keep doing it.
Until
it's no longer enjoyable. And maybe it became no longer enjoyable once they had kind of, exhausted their creative ideas with the Pinkertones and then exhausted their creative ideas with the Rolfie Floor kids albums.
They probably just didn't we don't want to keep making the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's fair. And also that speaks to their integrity too. I don't we could probably still keep making money, just keep churning out the same shit.
Yeah.
But we want to do other things.
Yeah. They made 5 full-length albums and they are all really, really good. They also have a song called I'm not going to remember the title now. It's Sample Honor Me or something like that, or Sample Me, where it's specifically the whole song is made from samples and bits and pieces of music that they've made, but it's them actively promoting the idea of copyright needs to change. You should sample this song and use it wherever the hell you feel like it.
Oh.
Because they said in the interview where they were talking about it, they were like, sampling is the only unique instrument of the 21st century so far. And they're like, it was technically invented in the 20th century, but in the 21st century, we're taking it to that next level of it's an instrument. It is a thing.
It's musical.
And we need to come up with ways to make the copyright laws work with that so that you can continue to develop that instrument and continue to use it as a musician.
Okay.
I thought that was really cool.
So they have a cause.
Yeah.
Or did. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great record, and we want to know what you think about it.
Please.
You can let us know on Instagram at audio_judo or Facebook at facebook.com at audiojudo. No, facebook.com / audiojudo. Or you can send us an email at info@audiojudo.com, or you can find us at YouTube at youtube.com / at audiojudo. And find all of our previous episodes. Well, not all of them on YouTube, but going back, I don't know, 2 years now, 2 or 3 years. If you want to watch us, I don't know why you would, but hey, maybe you do. And let us know what you think about this record or any other record that we've talked about, or any recommendations for upcoming records. Kyle, you have some stuff?
I do, yeah. You can go to patreon.com / audiojudo to sign up for our Patreon. There's a few little mini episodes there. And if you sign up for the Backstage Pass tier, you can also come and record an episode with us after a year at that tier. So if that's something you're interested in doing, give it a try. We currently have 4 Backstage Pass tier patrons, Christian S., Michael A., Michael S., and Scott K. Thank you all so much. And also at our Shout It Out Loud tier, David W., Simon C., our UK consultant, and John R. Thank you all so much. We could not keep doing this without you, so we appreciate it.
Yep, we have another Rush episode coming. We're talking about 2112.
Yeah.
A fan favorite, of course, as we steam towards that tour that's about to start in June. So, other than that, we will talk to you in 2 weeks. And bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.